before we start the episode, we just want to do some housekeeping stuff. First off, we're going to be bringing y'all 3 episodes a week starting this December.
Yes. Come on, 3 episodes. Man, you better start talking like you actually do, brother.
We're going to bring y'all 3 episodes this December. We're trying to challenge ourselves to push out some content, figure out what works, what doesn't work. So you're going to be getting 3 episodes from us every single week. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast, like, share, all that. And we are now officially on Spotify Podcasts as well as Apple Podcasts.
On what?
Spotify Podcasts as well as Apple Podcasts.
Let's go. That's big. Come on, man. That's a big deal.
So you can find us wherever you get your podcast at. Make sure to share the podcast, leave a review, rating, whatever they do on whatever platform you listen to your podcast.
Travis Hunter, one of the best, if not the best player in the entire country.
My opinion, the best player in the entire country in college, yeah.
Yes. He's been a star at Jackson State, been going everywhere Deion Sanders has gone. Now he's with Colorado. Probably going to win the Heisman. He just had the biggest game of his college career. 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. That's insane. He plays both sides of the ball. This is for everybody who's doubting him. He is the best player in the country. Come on. But that was not what shook up the internet the other day. The fact that he had the biggest game of his college career. And instead of us focusing on that, there was a clip going around of Travis Hunter's wife. I think it's
Fiancé,
actually his wife.
yeah.
Fiancé wife. Being upset with him after the game for, I don't know what he did. I didn't see the full clip of what he did.
I don't think it's important what he did. I think the part that's really just honestly annoying to me is the amount of people that are so quick to be outraged. We had selective outrage last episode. And this isn't really selective, as I just really think dumb because he's so young. And it was like a 15-second clip of his girl appearing to be displeased. He was coming up to her after the game and kissing on her and stuff, and she just was not having it. 1, why are you worried about what 2 grown folks are doing? 2, you don't know what he did. And honestly, bro, I was like, this is some of the lamest stuff I've seen in quite some time when I see grown people, especially men that have never been in any close position to what Travis Hunter is in, telling him that he needs to leave his girl, or this is a red flag, or this is going to be a problem as he gets more money, when it's literally a 15-second clip and you have no idea why she was actually upset.
Yeah, that's the funny part about it, too, because people are really saying, like, on the internet, they're like, oh, man, it's a wrap for her now. Like, she's done. Travis Hunter's going to be number 1 overall pick or a top 5 pick. He's going to move on. And I was like, dang, man, like, all over a 15, 10-second clip, that's really it? And we don't even know what happened.
This is how social media is, like, you know, with the algorithms and stuff. So I seen their clips right after I seen that clip, and they are fine.
Yeah,
they are fine. No. They are not worried about y'all.
The internet's a crazy place. So that's the funny thing. Like, this man really had, I mean, this is from the sports journalist in me.
Yeah.
That this man really had a game like he had, and that's the only thing that people care about and focus on. The only question I have for you is, in a situation like that, and again, not saying from our relationships, but I'm saying in general, like, is there anything you can learn from that, from whether that be Travis Hunter and or his fiance?
I don't really think so. I think some of the rhetoric that I was seeing is like, you just handle that after, like, 100%. You know, like pretend to be happy and all that stuff. But what did she really do? It's not like she yelled at him. She didn't push him off her. She was just clearly like, yo, like, I'm not messing with you right now.
Yeah.
And I think to expect someone, especially when we don't know why she was upset, like, we really don't know.
Right.
Some people were saying it's because he, like, waved at the cheerleaders of the other team or something like that, but you really don't know what it was. And so to expect her to keep a smiley, happy face just because he had a good game, to me, that's the same thing as, like, crying in a Ferrari. Like, I'm a millionaire, I make all this money, so no matter what I do to you, like, you better keep a smile on in public.
Right.
And I just don't believe in that. Only for the sheer fact we don't know why. And also, as an individual human, who are you to tell her what she can and cannot be upset about and when she can or cannot be upset? She really wasn't she wasn't wilding out. She was just like, yo, like, not right now. Like, I'm like a little.
You know, people be like that, though. People see that and they're like, oh, this is perfect. I mean, anytime you hit a certain level of fame or whatever it is, you know, anything you do, people are gonna latch onto it and then try and find something negative. That's just how the world works and the internet works.
And I think even when people come out to say stuff like that, it's almost insulting to his ability of discernment. We did talk about discernment in the last episode as well, but I'm like, he is a high GPA student, an amazing football athlete. He's been around Deion Sanders almost his entire adult life so far, so I'm sure he has given him tutelage around, like, you know, picking partners and all that kind of stuff. You think that he would be like so easily deceived by a woman that is really there for the wrong reasons? Like you think like, all the people around him, all the tutelage, how long he's been in the spotlight, you think he would really just be with a girl and not notice at all that she's just there for the money or there for the wrong reasons, doesn't actually care about him, and you're basing this off a 15-second clip? Come on, man.
I'm telling you, bro, that's just how people move now. That's how people look at the world, which is crazy.
When you put yourself out in anything that requires you to be in the public eye, you kind of have to deal with everything that comes with it.
100%.
And I think that obviously they don't care. So it's not even really dealing with it as someone that has been on social media for like a few years.
Are you signing autographs? Oh, it's cooking.
But you just don't care, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care if someone tells me I do a good job. I don't care if someone tells me I do a bad job or that my recipe sucks. I just don't care. I'm very thankful when people appreciate me enough to say thank you or something I made help them in some way.
Are you putting hot sauce in your pho?
Yeah. I just made a video about that.
I know, I saw that.
Yeah.
Did you get a lot of negative reaction?
No, and I think that was actually kind of like a case study in that the internet is not real life. So I think a couple people in the Vietnamese community were upset about people putting too much sauce in their pho, and then I got extrapolated to the whole Vietnamese community and really it was just a couple individuals because I think most people, like we were talking about, most people just don't care. Like, it's your pho, you purchased it. If you want to put the whole bottle of sriracha in there, I don't care. You paid for it. Do what you want. But we were talking a little bit off camera about a clip that you had seen or something about like a hamster wheel or something like that.
Yeah, man. What a way to describe it, man. A clip or a hamster wheel. No, man, I want to get your thoughts on this because I feel like you and I think the same in a lot of aspects, in a lot of ways. But, I saw a clip that was basically saying, you have to wake up every day and choose to live life. Waking up every day and being like being present. And I feel like that's something that's very interesting because for a very long time, I felt like personally I wasn't present. I know for a fact back in San Diego and Portland, I was always thinking, okay, what's next? Like I want the next move. I want more money. I want a bigger role. Like, what's my next goals? And we kind of talked about this on the day before Thanksgiving when I was at your crib just chilling. It's a very interesting concept to think about that you have to be present to enjoy your life as you should. And I want to get your thoughts. Do you feel like on a day-to-day basis with the way that your schedule is structured that you live your life to the fullest and present, or do you feel like it's kind of like a hamster wheel thing where it's like I wake up, I do the same thing every day, I eat the same thing, I read the same book or whatever it is, and then go on with your day?
I think, honestly, I just got clarity on this. For those of you that are viewing, I don't mind sharing this. I've had a mild, bit of depression going on lately, but
you're my dog, man. I got you, brother.
But it's all good. I don't mind being transparent about that. But I think the thing is that what's been making me feel better internally as of late is that I am being more present. So I think that's what adds into that whole thing you're talking about, a hamster wheel. I think I was on a hamster wheel for a while, just doing the same day-to-day routines, whether it be posting content, doing back-end work on the business, reaching out to new clients, all that kind of stuff that goes in there. It's just like a hamster wheel every single day without any intention or meaning to it. I think when I first started the business, that's what was really driving me and made it so much fun and made all those memorable experiences when I was first starting to get some traction, was I was being so intentional and really enjoying what I was doing and taking time to be like, wow, this is a really cool video. Like, I'm just proud
100%.
of producing this. Pretty much all 2024, I was just so focused on that everyday hamster wheel, doing the same thing over and over again, that refining the process is something that I was missing out on. So it's the same process from January till about 3 weeks ago. It's just been the same process over and over, and I think that was starting to influence my mind.
Yeah.
But as I started to put myself more present and be like, yo, let's change this up. Let's make this better. Let's refine this. We haven't addressed this in 3 months. Let's go back and do that. I think that's really brought me into the space where I'm like, yes, you were basing your behaviors off of a version of you that doesn't exist anymore. Because in January, I didn't have a girlfriend. In January, one of my best friends didn't live here. Like, in January, I was still doing some other things business-wise I don't do anymore. So I'm still trying to have the same habits, even though I'm in a different place in life. So sometimes you have to pivot and change the new habits and realign yourself with who you actually are. And I think that's why I'm feeling so much better now, is that I've taken the time to realign my processes with how my life actually is now.
Yeah, and like you said, the hamster wheel of compared to last January to this upcoming January is that you were in a different space in life. And I think that's something that a lot of people can take away from, living in the hamster wheel or doing the same thing every single day, is that's where you have to be present. Being present can help you appreciate those little things a little more, whether it's like, even if you shot this thing well, or you said something, you said a line in this video, you're like, oh, okay, like that was a cool line. One thing I started to do, especially now anchoring a lot more, and evolving in my career, is when I'm calling highlights for sports, when I'm doing my sportscast or whatever it is, I always try and find a line or two where I'm like, let me come up with something different. Because I always say this when it comes to anchoring, when it comes to my career, is that is the definition of a hamster wheel. Every single day at 5:15, I have a sports hit that is 3 minutes long. Every single day at 6:30, I have a sports hit that's 2 minutes long. Every single day at 11, I have a sports hit 3 minutes long. Yeah. But it's like how you create each individual show is something that you could find more and more appreciation, and then you can be in the moment for. And I think a lot of the time I got so caught up in, all right, let's go do my sports hit. I'm going to say the same thing as I said every single day. And that's not to say that I don't love my job and don't appreciate it. It's just a fact of it's deadlines. It's doing the same thing. It's, repetition. It's hamster wheel, because that's what TV is. It's spewing information to people on a day-to-day basis.
But do you think that's the real grind though, bro? I don't mean the hamster wheel. I mean the breaking out of the hamster wheel.
Yeah.
I think that's when people talk about grind. It's actually very easy to put yourself in a habit of doing the same thing over and over and over again, because you can put yourself on autopilot.
Yeah.
But to 100%. Take that step back and look and be like, no, like, even though this is okay, like I'm just continuing to go day by day and continue to progress my life. How do I make this better? How do I take myself out of myself and assess what's going on and take a different action, take a different step, pivot a little bit this way, try a new class, go put myself out there in some kind of way, instead of just retreating through the guise of like, well, I'm just grinding right now. No, you're really not pushing yourself at all, because you're just doing the same. You're falling back on the same habits that you've always done without trying to improve at all, really.
That's something that I know for a fact that I did. Even in moments where I felt like I was a little lost, because I didn't know what I wanted to do next. But I was like, but I'm grinding. Grinding, which is the hamster wheel of like the comfortability of falling back on, okay, well, I know what I have to do every single day. Yeah. So I'm just going to do that until something sparks.
Exactly.
But what helped me be a little more present is when I would journal. And then I go back and look at it, and I'm like, whoa, like 2 months ago, I was not feeling good. Before I moved away from San Diego, everything kind of lined up exactly how it needed to.
Yep.
Moving to Atlanta, getting the offer from Atlanta, winning 2 Emmys. You heard.
Two-time award.
Two-time Emmy Award winner. Oh, yeah. But things like that really helped me kind of stay present, because I went back and read that, 3 months ago. I was like, okay, well, all I wanted was to win an Emmy, because I even talked about that in Portland. Okay, I won 2. That's great.
I remember.
Okay, all I wanted to do was move to Atlanta or somewhere that I really wanted to be. Okay, I was able to do that, and I thought everything was going to be great. And then that following month, I was kind of having a hard time and had to go back and read about that, what I was going through emotionally, physically, whatever it was, and that helped me be more present today. I can go into the studio and say, you know what? I want to try something new today, even if it doesn't work, even if it flops on TV. And folks, when you flop on TV, you flop. You trying to be more present and being more conscious of your life is something that that has really been sticking with me lately. And reading that little article I did and watching the video that I did, I was like, that's a very interesting aspect, because, like you said, people fall back on the hamster wheel when they're not sure how to be present in their life, and it's just going on autopilot. And some people like that. And again, we're not going to judge anybody for living life the way you want to, but being a little more present lately and being conscious of that has been something that's been pretty cool to experience.
I think if you don't ever pick up your head to smell the roses, you don't ever pick up your head to smell the bull either.
Put a bleep on that.
On my side of things, one of my big goals, like it's around the same time you were, was just to get my mom healthy and like get that situation figured out. So I think I was so focused on that. And then it was to get the business to a certain spot. And then after that, it was about intentionally dating and then finding someone that I actually wanted to be with and not into this, whatever the dating scene in Atlanta is. But, I accomplished all 3 of those things. Mom no longer pre-diabetic. She's healthy now. She's smiling now, like all the good stuff.
Miss Jackson.
Miss Jackson. But I'm in an amazing relationship now, you know what I'm saying? And I think all that stuff happened as I did the work to make those things happen, but I never readjusted myself. So I was doing all the things externally to make those things happen and make those changes, but I was lacking the internal work because I was just so focused on achieving those goals. But also there's some negative stuff that I picked up during that time. Like I became really closed-minded, not in terms of like, philosophy, but in terms of like, I just wasn't leaving my house. I wasn't trying to go anywhere. And now opening myself back up to going out and having more experiences, whether it's doing the podcast or just going out to eat and stuff like that. I think that really just even being intentional in those moments has helped with my work. Getting out of that grind mode for the express purpose of being intentional in the spaces in which you're going, whether it be with your friends when we're kicking it. Like we chop it up and we have casual conversations, but a lot of times we have very intentional conversations about what we want to do, not only in life but with the podcast, or what we want to do with ourselves in terms of like our physically.
Yeah, no, I got a whole paragraph this morning.
Hey man, listen. One thing I'm gonna do.
Come on, man.
One thing I'm gonna do, man. I might hit him up like a shorty every once in a while. Throw a couple paragraphs at him. But it's really because I have been feeling so good that I am very passionate about what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I'm very passionate about our friendship. Like in a healthy way. Like I just want. I think that there's no one I would rather be doing this with.
Likewise, brother.
And I want to continue to push ourselves, both individually and as collective as we do this. Like with everything that you want to do, because I know you still have achievements and goals that you have for your personal career. And so do I.
What's something that you would say that you do to feel more present as of late?
As of late, I've really got back into journaling. So my girl put me onto this, but it's like 3-page regurgitation. So in the morning, I really just write till I get 3 pages, like whatever comes to my mind. It doesn't matter if it's like something stupid about butterflies. It doesn't matter if it's about anime. I just write for 3 pages. And then honestly, bro, I've been praying a lot more lately. I've had my own problems with church and stuff like that over the years, but I was raised in a very Christian household. I've always had a really good relationship with God. Recently started just praying a lot more, not so much like directly like, God, give me strength or all this more like existential stuff. I just pray to continue to do what I know I can do. Like I can make better decisions here. I can choose to learn more and study more and become better at whatever it is I'm trying to do. Like those are all choices. So I really just pray that I make the decision that I know I'm capable of making in any given circumstance, whether it be with my girl, with my friends, with my mom, with my business, like whatever it is. And I think that just coming back to presence and just recognizing that I have the power to make these decisions, I have free will, is something that's been really helping me. And I just do that through prayer now. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
What about you, bro? How you been staying present?
I'm telling you, man. I would say a lot about journaling. Journaling has helped a lot. That's been a big thing. And then, I've been going out of my way lately to talk to my loved ones, whether obviously that be my friends, my girl, extended family, whatever it is. I've had a bad problem for a very long time with not reaching out to people unless they reach out to me.
I'm so bad.
And I've really been trying lately to be like, okay, if I haven't talked to, my brother or my cousin or one of my friends in a long time, I try and reach out to them because I feel like it helps me be a little more present with the fact of like, this is a very present relationship that I have with somebody.
Yeah.
Like whether that be, like I said, talking on the phone, FaceTime, texting, whatever. I've been really trying to go out of my way to reach out to people that I don't talk to on a day-to-day basis because I feel like that helps me stay grounded because they're looking at me like, oh man, I haven't talked to you forever.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm really happy that you reached out. And that's a moment that I'm going to remember, whether that be for the next few days, weeks, months, whatever it is. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I still have a relationship with a lot of these people that I love. Like, I just have to reach out to them. And it helps me kind of stay a little grounded on top of, like I said, journaling and reading every day and trying to just, make a decision when I wake up. Let's do something a little different today. Like, you can have that hamster wheel that we've been talking about of, you have the same stuff that you need to do and you have to accomplish, but being a little more intentional with the off time or free time that you have, or even if it's a split 45 seconds of, okay, let me just sit down and breathe a little bit. Like, let me just be like, a couple deep breaths. I'm here. It's, Monday, December 2nd, whatever it is, breathe. Okay. Now I can go on with the rest of my day. And it's little things like that I feel like personally for me have been building up over time and have really been helping me. So we talked about a lot, bro. Give them something to summarize this episode.
Yeah, so to summarize the episode, first off, like y'all know, this is a refinement process. So we're still finding our flow. We're finding everything that we want to do with the podcast. So sometimes we're going to be off the cuff. Sometimes we're going to be more structured. So just bear with us as we continue to bring y'all better and better content as we go along. But if I was just to summarize it up, I would say one, there's nothing wrong with the hamster wheel. There is a place for grind, but you need to take time off the hamster wheel to refine your processes, whether that be the processes of your grind or just the process of how you spend your time in your life. And I think that all goes back to what you said about finding that time to be present.
And call your people, man. That's a big thing. Call your people. Do that, and then just really focus on, if you can, obviously, whatever way you want to. Like you were saying, whether it be journaling, reaching out to friends, praying, whatever it is, whatever religion you have or anything like that, just find something or try to find something to be a little more present each and every day. Because if you could do that, personally, from experience, you're going to feel a lot better and enjoy every single day a little better.
And you won't feel the need to comment on two college kids that are already, engaged. So I said two college adults that are engaged to be married and what they're doing. We have no context on the situation. We hope that you enjoyed this episode of the Choose Up podcast. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. We're now on anywhere that you get your podcast. So make sure
we're on what?
Review. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts.
One more time.
Wherever you get the podcast, wherever you get them, we're there. So make sure to leave us a review. Make sure to share the podcast. We're always trying to expand on YouTube. Our goal is 20K subscribers right now. We're at about 15K.
And tell us what you do to stay a little more present each and every day and what you're going to try and do to stay present.
Come on now. Somebody got to be great today. Might as well be you.
You're